That was awesome.
That was so awesome.
Thank you, Stoffers. She can stay up here. What is it? You're never supposed to, what, go on stage after animals or children? Isn't that the deal?
That's pretty much the deal.
That's pretty much the deal.
We are
That was really cool.
It was really, really,
thank you.
Really cool.
Very much.
I love us. I know. I really love us too. Man, each of those songs are so cool. I'd never heard that first one, or not aware that I heard the first one. So that was so good, and then hearing your story with it was really beautiful, and second one means so much. So does anybody have anything they want to comment on in those music choices or anything? I know when Nikki said to me, "Have you watched The Greatest Showman?" Do you remember that? And I was like, "I have not." She's like, "You really need to see it." And then I cried through the whole thing. Have you seen it, Heather?
Oh,
yeah. Like a million times?
Yeah. I bought it.
You just bought it?
Yes.
That's so fun.
This is The Greatest Show. So, yeah.
Well, okay, so that was so funny. That's how Nikki felt. So I'm watching. She didn't tell me that ahead of time. But I was watching it, and I just felt the Lord going, are you, willing to do this? Are you willing to host a space where everyone is welcome and people that don't fit in other places, but together they make something really magical? And it's controversial, and there will be opposition, and, to the magic that comes together, when people come together to allow all of themselves to be exposed and shared, with each other. And yeah, so anyway, super cool. Do you have anything you wanted to comment on?
No, not so much.
Okay. I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks. I actually felt like I wanted to take a moment and just pray, if you guys don't mind. I feel like with the Giant song and with Greatest Showman, I just felt like my heart just expanding with the Lord in terms of holding open a space for all of those people who are really meant to be with us on Sunday nights. People whose hearts are aching to be a part of a space where they can be really seen, really known, really loved, and really encouraged in who God made them to be. And so I'm just going to take a moment, and if you want to add to it, just raise your hand and Greg will come and bring the mic, and if you don't, that's okay. But I actually want to just speak to those people in our area and not in our area, and just say to all of you who on Sunday night, on this date, the first Sunday of June, 2019, where your heart is aching and where your inner being is going, I need more. I need more. That God has a place for you. So we speak an open path and an open door to you to find that space. With us or with someone else, to those who are longing for a depth of intimacy with God, for those who are longing for a connection with other people, for those who are longing to see themselves as a giant, for those who are longing to be the extraordinary, for those who are longing to do something out of the ordinary, for those who want to take risks, for those who want to enter the arena, for those who are saying yes to themselves and yes to the Lord, to those who want to take risks. We say, may there be an open door and an open path to the place that God has for you, wherever that is. May you find community, and may those of you who belong here in relationship with us, may we say you are welcome, and we say yes to the timing that God has for you, and we just bless you and honor you, and we say yes to loving you before we ever meet you. We say yes to seeing you and having a vision of who God made you to be before you ever even walk in the door. We say yes to your health and your healing and your restoration and your wholeness, and we say yes to how you will enrich our lives, how we will be enriched by you, and how you will be enriched by us. And we are holding open this space. You are not alone. You are not alone in your faith journey. You are not alone in your family journey. You're not alone in your fear. You're not alone in your anger. You're not alone in your frustration. You're not alone in your loneliness. That's a whole lot of alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. So we bless you, we honor you, and we call you. We call you. And we say, there is a place for you, and already within you, you belong. And there is no place you don't belong, but you also belong. So we just bless you in the name of Jesus. We bless you, and we also speak to that ache in your heart, and we awaken it. That it will overcome distance, and it will overcome time, and it will overcome logic, and it will overcome reason, and it will overcome malaise and apathy, and overcome the, like, can I? We just speak to that it would be an overcoming invitation, and that you would find in your heart a burning desire to run in the goodness of God. Not walk anymore, not crawl, not glimpse, not see it as a shadow, but run in the goodness of God in every area of your life. So we call to that, and we speak to the places of your heart that are longing for community and longing for intimacy and longing for healing. And we speak a miraculous restoration. Like out of our very breath, we release it for you and with you and you with us. Amen. Did anyone want to add? Nobody raised their hand, so I didn't know if anyone was too busy processing to add, but you're welcome to still add if you want. So I am going to release kids to go with Miss Jasandra and just to hang and have a good time together. And Jasandra, we're hoping that these kiddos and my kiddo can be with you today.
We have bowling set up.
Yes, bowling for dollars. Not really bowling for non-dollars, but anyway, it sounds fun, right? So we'll release kiddos. Maybe you can do some coloring where you are. I'm not sure. Yay! And I wanted to give us a chance to connect. And so if anybody has something that they want to share about what God's doing in their life or what's happening with them, the Baileys are at a wedding today. So that's where they are. I know Britt and Christy just recently got engaged, for those of you who didn't get the news on that and are in California. Britt and Christy are not got engaged, but sent out their save the date for their wedding, sorry. A little brain cramp there. They were like, didn't they already get engaged? Yes, they did. I'm just like about 5 months late on that announcement.
When is that?
October. I don't know the exact date, but we can share. So, anywho, there's a couple of little things of our community. But so, anybody else have something they want to share? Excellent.
So, hello. Sometimes, you're like have these like financial goals or just goals in general, and like you can't get to them, and you're just, you just get, oh gosh, like, just all the things, all the expenses, all the things get in your way, whatever the roadblocks are. And this week, I have a network marketing business, and sometimes when people don't sign up with a member number, they place, like the company places those people under other people in that area. And this week I had 2 people placed under me. One hasn't actually placed an order, but whatever. And the other one, her husband is a pro athlete. And I'm like, I know, and like one of my kind of subconscious but conscious goals that I didn't really want to actually put down because I didn't know anybody was to have like like famous people, you know, pro athletes, and this guy is famous, although I had no clue who he was. And I won't tell you his name because I'm not dropping names.
Right.
But anyway, I'm just like, oh, like, and I immediately was like, before I even knew it was a pro athlete, I posted in my group that, like, just encouraging people to keep going, just keep going, and these little winks from God will drop in your lap. And then to find out that he was, so I don't know what God has for that, but like, I was just super encouraged. I'm like, okay, God, like, even if it wasn't a pro athlete, like, just having people placed under you randomly is a huge financial blessing. So
Yes, it is.
just, you know, as you're, whatever roadblock you might be running into, whatever area of life that is, I even did the hashtag, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Oh, the lessons in Finding Nemo, they are endless. Love Finding Nemo. I love it. Hey,
All of the Disney or non-Disney songs.
I know, really, it's true. True story. Anybody else want to share something that's going on with them? Sorry, I'm not trying to make it like awkwardly. Oh, look. Here comes. Yay.
I just want to verbalize that our God is not a God of disappointment, and he's not a God of mediocrity. And I think lately I've felt pressure to feel that. Like, well, you get your hopes up and then it's not what you expected, and like, but it's good enough, you know. And there was a line in the Greatest Showman song that said, like, are you ready for the impossible? And it was just a really great reminder that the thoughts or the feelings of God, you know, letting us down or being disappointed in him or not meeting our expectations is not a true statement. So I just want to make the statement that our God is amazing, and he is about the impossible and exceeding our expectations.
That's good. For that, that's so good.
I got a chance to go to this church in Avondale this morning as a recommendation from a friend. He's like, just try it out. And it was, there was a special speaker, Bishop Mitchell was preaching, and just, he's the one that like dances around, and you know, it's like, you know, one of those churches. Like he was spinning and everything.
Really? Bishop Mitchell, I need to Google him. Bishop Mitchell, who are you?
But,
spinning and dancing.
One of the things, it was providence that I was there. Like there was a word for me there this morning, and I just was reminded about God's timing and how he saved me from a situation that was causing me death, and that he's preparing me for a season of fruitfulness. And one of the things in worship that I was thinking about was, it was like maybe 5 years ago or something like that, I went to Bethel, and I've always struggled with, Lord, you know, purpose. You know, everyone has that question. What am I going to be when I grow up? And that kind of thing. And it was at Bethel that one time when I really felt like the Lord I heard someone's job description, and I'm like, that's it. And I probably said this before, but I really felt like God was saying, you're a prophetess that moves in miracle signs and wonders. And that just seemed so big, and I didn't even know what that meant. And but I'm like, I have no idea what that looks like, and you're gonna have to put me in a place that will cultivate that. And just during worship, he's like, and that's where you are. And this is the place where I'm cultivating you. To grow in your gifts in that way. So I still don't know what that looks like, and it just seems so far off, but I know his promises are true, and that he is providing a way for me in his timing. So I just want to give him praise.
That's so good. That's so good, Heather. Whew. Well, hey, I was wondering if, just as we were kind of just sharing a little bit, I really felt like it would be good if we could move these two tables so that we could kind of see each other a little bit more. So can we just do that? Would you mind just grabbing the table, turning it so that it's like almost like a U? Yeah, just if we just turn this one this way and turn this one this way, then we can all just kind of see each other a little bit more as we're talking. I was just feeling like that would, we're going to move the table. So, yeah, is that okay? Then we can just kind of see each other just a little bit more, you know, when we talk. And that would be good. So, Taylor spent the night. Yeah, if you guys want to scoot in, you can. If you don't want to, you're totally fine where you are. That's good. But I was just thinking we could like scooch in a little bit. Ooh, that's kind of fun. This is nice. Hey, I know Heather, you had a vision at the very beginning that we would have tables in a U. So when I was seeing that again today, I was like, oh, Heather's vision of our tables in a U. Here we are. Like, here we are. This is weird. Right here. So Taylor spent the night at our house this weekend, last night, and we were talking about all different kinds of things. It was super, super fun. And somehow, I don't even know how did the subject come up about the pageant? Oh yes, we were watching Miss Congeniality. Of course that's how it came up. And then they were asking about the pageant that I'd been a part of, which I've been a part of 2, by the way. 2 ever, not 200. And so they were asking like funny, because there's just like a lot of funny stories. If you've ever been a part of something quirky like that, there's a whole lot of stories. And one of the stories that came to my mind that I shared with them, I felt like was appropriate for us tonight. And it was during the interview process, you know, they ask you lots of questions about yourself. And so you answer these questions. And I chose a pageant where they really highly valued the interview portion. Because, by the way, in case you didn't know, I'm not 6 foot tall and I don't look like a model. Like, I was super fit, I will say that. So that was, I had that part covered. But I'm still not 6 foot tall and I don't look like a supermodel. So I had to choose a pageant that was like gonna reward the things I did have to contribute, which was that a friend of mine had said, I think you'll do well in interviews, so pick those pageants. Anyway, I was doing it to kind of open some doors, and it did. It's part of how I ended up working in television for a bunch of years, and so it was a really great experience, and it did open some doors for me. But during the interview process, you know, you're just talking about yourself and people ask you these different questions, and for a pageant that highly values interview, how that goes, right, is a really big part of the outcome of this whole thing. So there was a gentleman who was interviewing people, and he had a really thick accent, and so it was kind of hard sometimes to hear all of what he was saying. And so, and then there was a woman, you know, and oh, by the way, you know Nellie on Little House on the Prairie in the television show? She was one of my judges. Super, super fun. Allison, yeah, just huge fan of hers. So yeah, it's like you just love to hate her. So that was good. She was really, really nice. Yeah. So anywho, and so.
You mean she wasn't the same person that she pretended to be on TV?
She was not. She was not this.
I'm confused. What does the word acting mean again?
Right? Yeah.
I don't think I know anymore.
I feel like you're secretly mocking me right now, but it's so funny. I actually super appreciate it. Like, way to jump in, babe. That was actually really, really good. It's pretty witty right there. I like it. So, anywho, we're comparing notes after the interview of like what we thought of the different questions, right? And thank you for laughing at that. And all my friends that I had, you know, built during this weekend, we're like, what did you think of that one guy's question about a mistress? And I was like, what? And they're like, what did you think about the guy's question about a mistress? And I don't remember a question. And they were like, yeah, that was so crazy. And they were like, it was so confusing. And I didn't even know what to say to him. And that was insane. And I'm still going, I don't understand what you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, like, what's the role of a mistress in your marriage? And I was like, oh, he asked me what is the role of a Mrs. in your marriage? Because it was a Mrs. pageant. What is the role of a Mrs.? What is your role in your marriage is basically the question. All 7 women at the table go, no, oh, no, what? He wasn't asking about a mistress, he was asking about Mrs. I know, right? So, anywho, that was the one I won, by the way. So, anywho, you know, just saying. For some reason, I understood what he was actually saying, and almost everyone else did not.
Okay, this is a miracle in of itself, because anytime there's any...
Oh,
it can be speaking English, but the Queen's English. And I'm like hearing it just fine. I understand the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't catch
understand.
any of the
I
last
didn't
5
catch
minutes.
any of
Can you
it."
tell me what that was?
He's like, no, I'll just
Right.
rewind it.
Adrian, she still doesn't understand you. I have to go home and tell her.
It's true. I have to put the subtitles on because I can't understand. So anyway, it was a miracle. But, it's just one of those things like, what is your reaction when there is a miscommunication or a disappointment? So I'm actually going to have you pull a card out of your bucket, and I'm going to have you put the question on the board, which is, what is your reaction when there is a miscommunication or a difference of perception or a disappointment? Those 3 things.
In my marriage or in...
Right, in my marriage, in life, in... What? With your mistress? Right? The look on their face was pure horror. What? Yeah, so funny. What is your reaction? So the reason... Question again? What is your perception when the... Yeah, that's not it. What... This is... You'll be back. What is your reaction? Yeah. When there is a miscommunication. What is your reaction when there is a difference of perception? What is your reaction when there is a disappointment? And the reason I am bringing this up is that the Lord showed me something this week, and I felt like it was something that He wanted us all to share in, which was I had results come in on something where I had hired someone to do something. They brought the work to me. I took a look at it. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Again?
What?
Again?
Oh, yeah, right. I know, the story of my life. But that's, but it's not like we expected the first time around to actually be like perfect, so that's totally okay. But yeah, so it was a difference of expectation for me, and I found myself operating out of some emotions that I didn't realize would be my go-to reaction. And I was probably 2 hours in, trying to calm myself down from a reaction that was really inappropriate to the situation. And it made me realize, oh, this is my go-to. When something doesn't go the way that I want, I jump to these couple of responses. I don't want to give them away because you're going to have your own. And they're not helpful. They're not helpful. And it was a super interesting thing because I went, okay, Lord, somehow this reaction has been a learned behavior. I have learned to jump to this reaction. And I think that you want to heal it because this reaction to something not going the way that I expected is super unbeneficial. So anybody want to share what they have so far? And then I'll share mine too. So when things don't go, yeah, when there's a difference, oh yay, perfect, difference of expectation. That might sum up all of it. A miscommunication, a perception, things don't go the way you want. What is your response? And this all is tying in with our series on vulnerability, creativity, courage, because when things don't instantly go the way that we expect, we have a gut reaction. Wouldn't it be so nice if our go-to was peace? Right? We just had a gut reaction of peace, or a gut reaction of joy, or of gentleness, or of kindness. By the way, my gut reaction was not any of those things. It was not any of those things. Yeah, right? Okay, so anyone want to share yours? Yeah, Heather. We'll just...
this is the story of my life for the past decade.
Good.
But I've been learning so much about it.
Yay.
And now I feel like I'm on the other side of it a little bit. And so anyway, my gut reaction, I take it personally. I'm hurt, sadness, depressed, angry.
Whoa. That was so good. Personal, hurt,
That's all of them.
angry. Wow.
Well, I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, right?
You get thrown for a loop. It's just like I think the best way that I would feel is that like a wave knocked me over, and like when you don't know what the bottom or the top is, and
Okay.
you're like flailing to find the bottom.
Yeah. So one of my most uncomfortable reactions is being surprised or shocked. For some reason, that's something that makes me feel super, super loopy. So shocked.
Unsafe.
Can't read that.
You can't read the orange?
It's invisible. That's mildly.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what else?
Again, it used to be the story of my life, but of no longer, hallelujah. But yeah, so all of that, but also just here it goes again. Here it goes
Oh.
again. You know, yeah.
Okay, what is that?
almost recrimination for expecting anything
Yeah.
different.
Right, so what would that be called, like a fatalistic kind of thinking or a?
Somewhat. It was more just an ongoing pattern of hurt because I'd had for me there was a real struggle with feeling not heard or not understood, and so anything like that just rolled back into that like ongoing experience, and so it was just like yeah that's I'm never going to be understood. I'm never going to get through to people. So it was sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense.
Yeah.
But just here we go again. Yep, that's the story of my life. Yeah.
Okay. Hopeless.
Defensive. Like, come back with something else, like, yeah. But
Yeah.
again, I'm trying to look and see what's my part, but yeah, initial is like, yeah.
That's me.
You blame the other person? Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Blame is a very quick go-to.
Mine's the defensive and to prove all the ways that I'm right. It just said to prove all the ways that I'm right.
Yeah. I have discovered for myself that I often, when I get pushed on especially things of perception, that I have a tendency, I mentioned this before, to go to the facts. Like I want to prove and it's super ineffective with people. So that's frustrating. It's a well-known fact that facts are not helpful. I love you so much. Oh, yes. Shut down. Oh, big time. Freeze. Freeze and shut down. That's so good.
I wrote down introspective or self-doubt.
That's super good.
I like to distance myself from the person or the
I was hoping someone was going to bring that up.
situation.
I won't out my husband on that one, but yes. Distance. So can I put hiding? Is that okay? Or distance? I'll put distance and hiding. Oh, and avoiding. Distance. Okay, and avoidance. Okay, so good. Thank you. Okay.
I think I sometimes try to find allies, like people who will back me up.
Oh no, I don't think anyone, I don't ever do that. That's horrible. Oh.
Let me tell you about my problem from my perspective, so you can't do anything but agree with me.
What?
Let me tell you my problem from my perspective, so you will always agree with me.
Yeah. Find allies. Wow, that's super good. Anyone else? Yeah, right? True story. Okay, so does everybody have something written on your card that you are coming into an awareness going, hey, when things don't go my way, here's how I react? Because it's good for you to have that on your card. Because I feel like the Lord is wanting to give us revelation about what it is that's kind of like our go-to. So what I'd like for us to do is get to know each other a little bit better. So we've all shared like popcorn, but if we'll just go around, and anyone who's willing to share their thing really quick one more time, like just kind of a go, you know. And if you don't want to, we'll just pass by. But your gut reaction, your quick reaction when things don't go the way that you want, can you just tell me one more time? Like we'll just kind of go around one more time, and if you don't want to say, just say pass. Okay, so we just start here.
To prove how I'm right.
Okay. So seeing things as right and wrong. Good.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Are you sure?
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Okay.
Find allies.
Find allies. Okay.
Blame others.
It's interesting.
Defensiveness.
It figures. Here we go again.
Oh. Okay.
Defensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Distancing.
Distancing. Okay.
Apathy. Sure, whatever.
Oh, very good. Okay. Did you have one, babe?
Pass.
Okay, so I found myself angry, right here, angry, and afraid. And I was a couple of hours in on angry and afraid before I was able, so that's almost like, that's a neurological wiring kind of a thing. When you experience something and then you have an automatic reaction. It wasn't something you chose. It's an automatic reaction. That's a neurological response that has been created with a pattern over time. And I so love that the mind of Christ, that having our minds transformed, is about no longer being pressured by the patterns of this world. Meaning the patterns of our world. The patterns that our mind have been pressed into because of our experiences. This is why we have these patterns. We each have a unique story of what happened in our childhoods, what happened in our youth, what happened in our young adult as we grow up. And those experiences, those patterns created uniquely this response for each one of us. And so God is so in the business of helping create a new neurological wiring for us so that we have the capacity to operate out of the fullness of who we are when things go wrong. But it's an interesting process, don't you think? Like, because I want to see myself not have to talk myself down off of the cliff of these things. I want to see myself operating in my true self, and these being more of an option or a choice down the road if I decide I want to, right? Because if this is like our go-to, and this is a neurological quick response, it comes with emotions, right? Which reinforce the legitimacy of this reaction, right? And so then we're actually having to move out of, you know, some significant emotion before we ever even knew we were making, sorry. Oh, it's just kind of a continuing thing.
It's sorry.
That was your 5 o'clock morning.
Oh, is it? Perfect. It is. Okay. So we're wrapping it up. Excellent. So on your cards, we're going to flip the board. Would you flip it, babe?
I don't like all these colors.
You don't like all the colors? It makes it, you need more black? It's so pretty. I know, it makes all the yucky stuff look really, really pretty. I feel like the Lord is wanting to introduce us to who we really are when things don't go the way that we expect. And I believe that that's not just an individual thing, it's a community thing. So who you are when things don't go the way that you expect is available to all of us in a community. So I think that the Lord wants to share that. So I think we should just take a moment and ask the Lord, what do you want to tell me about who I really am when things don't go the way that I expect? By ourselves for a moment, and then we're going to share. Okay. Okay.
What was your 502 warning?
What is my 502 warning?
Here you go. What do you got a map for you?
Black, really? Okay. You want to write yours on?
Huh?
You want to write yours down?
Easy being up here, I can't think.
What God says we are, who, when things don't go the way we expect. What is our actual gut reaction?
Our actual gut reaction? Or the truth?
The truth.
With a lowercase t?
With a big case T.
Okay. Yes.
So, who we truly are when things don't go the way that we expect is what makes us resilient. It's what makes us able to handle hardship, difficulty, unmet expectations. Who we really are is what makes us an overcomer. So I would love to hear what you are hearing. And so for those who want to just share it, we'll just go around. That way it'll be super fast. And if you want to pass, pass. And Greg and I are both going to write as quick as we can all the things. So share all of your things that you are writing down. You can grab black, I'll grab color. How's that sound?
Unacceptable. Okay,
sorry. Okay.
Calm, honoring, and honored.
You do honoring. Honoring and honored.
Done.
Oh, okay.